Hey there, and welcome to U Talk. We connect with amazing people from across Canada and ask them about their stories, passions, and experiences. I'm your host, Brian Funk. Luana is an amazing and talented person. Not only is she a teacher, but she's also a musician and was the face for Ethno Fest 2021. Let's sit down with Luana to find out more about her love for literature, music, and her home country of Brazil.
So hi, good morning. My name is Luana. I am Brazilian. I've been living here in Winnipeg for almost 7 years. In Brazil, I used to be a teacher and a singer. And here I am a teacher and a singer too. Yeah. When I moved to Winnipeg, I started working in a daycare and to get all my documentation approved by the government and everything. And then, but I have a duo named Sarau Carioca, where I am a singer, and Marcos Martins is the guitar player. And I also, I am a teacher, like a instructor in a language school, where I teach Portuguese and English to children and adults. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we'll get to all of those and talk a little bit more about that, especially the music, because your music is so good. It's so good. So living in 7 years now in Canada, why did you decide to leave Brazil to move here?
We want to have like a new experience, like meet new people. And of course, the situation in Brazil 7 years ago, like the violence was increasing a lot. I think that's the reason why many Brazilians decided to move. But it's not only that. We want like to meet new people, have other experiences, like for education as well. Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, so more opportunity, more chance to change.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
What was the most significant change? Because like just going from another country and then just starting up a new life, I can't even imagine it. Like if I moved down to Brazil, I wouldn't even know how to like get set up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's not easy. Some people think like it's like very nice when you move to another country, and actually it is. But there is like a negative side too. Language is one thing. Even if you can express yourself in English, even if you can, like you're able to communicate, is your second language, especially for the people who comes like in their 30s, in their 20s, like when they are not child anymore. And so, and even if they don't know any English, if they don't have English, I think it's worse. But it's something that you can overcome, definitely. But like you leave your family, like your friends, and you have a career. Probably many people have a career in Brazil, and here they have to restart. So yeah, you have to be ready to restart everything in your life. But I think there is like many good things too.
When you're talking about the friends part, I have enough trouble now as as an adult nearing my 30s making new friends. I couldn't even imagine trying to make new friends in a new country with like a language and a cultural barrier. Wow.
But like it was not that hard. Canadian very friendly. That's one very good thing to move to Canada and Winnipeg, because the city is made by immigrants. We have lots of immigrants everywhere, so you are not the only one different in the city or in the province. Even the Canadian who live here, of course they live here, but we have like many immigrants and not many Canadian. But even they are very friendly. They always want to help. I always had very good experience with them in the church. In my first week here, and we became friends, and today we still friends. We are still friends.
Did you find any challenges? Well, just in terms of like language and like saying. One example, my girlfriend. One time I was driving around trying to get different things, and I was like, "Oh, man, today was just like a wild goose chase." And she's like, "Why are you chasing geese?" It's like, No, it's just a saying. But did you find there was any challenges like that, just getting sayings or things mixed up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I can't remember like one example to tell you to share now, but definitely because language is not only the words, but like the experience, right? So some uh, stuff we don't get it. I understand, and I think it's okay if you don't get it. We just ask, "What do you mean?"
It's just a really funny experience when you have sayings that you've heard your whole life, and then someone's like, I don't know what that means. I've never heard that. You're like, what? What's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an interesting aspect of like different cultures and communities.
Yeah.
But hey, it's always fun to share those things and explain them and be like, yeah, that saying is actually really weird. You're right.
True. Yeah.
You mentioned before a teacher back in Brazil, a teacher here in Canada, and a musician. But what first got you interested in teaching? Why did you want to be a teacher?
Yeah, this is very interesting. Since I was a child, I always liked books. My grandparents had lots of books. And when I was a child, I used to pretend I was a teacher. When I was in elementary school, I started to help my friends with the homework and I start tutoring. And when I got in the university, I opened an tutoring center, something like this, like where I had lots of students. In Brazil, tutoring is very popular. I would say many students have to go to somewhere to be taught what they learned in schools. And I don't know, was always music and teaching was always very natural in my life. Everybody knows me as a teacher and a singer. I don't remember when I said I will be a teacher. I just I knew that, yeah, since I was very little.
We want teachers who are passionate to teach, because I've had teachers before that they're just there. They ended up becoming a teacher, and it is just not a fun time. So it's good to hear about you being passionate, because, you know, that passion translates to the students.
Yeah, for sure. I have many students I had before, and they are my friends now. And I feel old. I am 37 years old, but I have students who just graduated from the university. So it's a little weird, but it's very good too. They're very, yeah, it's a good feeling.
Well, I mean, you need that diversity in age groups in terms of conversations and ideas, because there's a lot of things that my younger siblings think about and have ideas about that I would never think of. And I'm like, oh, you're right. That's a good point. Well, here's my point as someone who has a little bit more experience. And it's a great way to kind of bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, for sure. In school, I think every students have to identify themselves with somebody else, right? And a teacher can be one of those.
Sure. I know for our Ethno Fest episode that you were featured in, you showed off a book. I'm going to butcher this. Osachi by Monteiro Lobato. What can you tell me about that? Is that like your favorite book series, or why did you want to feature that book in the episode?
It's not my favorite book, but it's one book that I like. This book belongs to my dad when he was a child, and my grandma used it to read to me when I was a child. And this book represents a Brazilian person, I would say, because it's what is reaching this book is for children, it's not for adults, but it is storytelling, the old people used to tell stories, and then he wrote in the book these stories. We don't know if it's true or not true, but very old people used to tell. And I think when we read to our children, they create in their imagination how it can happen. It's true, it's not true. And Monteiro Lobato is one of the famous authors, Brazilian authors. So it's a very old book, very, very old, but I have very good memories when I look at it.
Yeah, a nostalgia for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. What would you consider is your favorite book? What do you like most about literature, as it is something that inspired you to become a teacher?
I always liked reading since I was a child. It's hard to say my favorite book because I like so many books. I don't have like one favorite, but there is one author. His name is Érico Veríssimo, and one book is Incidente em Antares. Incidente em Antares. I know you can't understand. That's okay. Yeah, and this book is about 7 people who died and they rose again because they saw many mistakes in the city and they started to tell what is wrong in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, so this book make us look to ourselves and see what is wrong with me, what in which kind of society I am living now, and make you reflect about the human being. Like, so very deep, the book, and this is one that I like very much. But I like poetry too. Yeah, I like reading.
Hey,
anything.
hey, that's great. I mean, I'm not much of a reader myself, but I can understand the significance, importance of literature. We had books for a large part of our like history. We haven't really had movies or TV shows that long.
Yeah, I think when you were watching a movie or a TV show, you have a part of the content created for you. So in the movie, the person who made the movie will choose the colors, will choose the faces. But when you're reading the book, you have to do this work. You have to imagine how is this character, how is his clothes. And so it's very good, especially for the children, for their imagination. Yeah.
Yeah, you create the scenes and your interpretation. Yeah, because I remember reading Harry Potter as a kid, and everything was very different in my head compared to what it was in the movies. But then the movies came out, and then that influenced my interpretations. But yeah, I understand where you're getting at. I mean, it's never bad to, have that practice of imagination and storytelling, and books have a great impact on our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And if a child never reads, is always watching a movie, not a child, a person, but especially a child, I mean, because you have to create this habit. So if you don't like always are pushing, oh, let's read a book when somebody grows up, I think it's hard to start reading when you are older.
Yeah, you're right. As you get older, you're kind of more like, I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm not going to try new things.
Yeah, I think it's like exercise. Like if you're starting workout, you can start workout at any age, like any time. But I think if you were doing like early, I think you became like more proficient. I don't know if I can use this word. Yeah, I think as early you start, better for you.
I think that's a good analogy, the workout. You can pick up a book and you can read one and you're like, oh, that was great. But getting into the habit of doing it, it's the same thing with exercise. You can do 3 to 4 days of workout, and then if you stop, you got to get back into it all over again. You don't build that momentum. Yeah, and same thing with reading. If you don't constantly exercise your brain in terms of your imagination and storytelling and reading, it's just going to be hard every time to get into it. Another passionate aspect of you is music. What got you into music, and what can you tell me about just your band?
Since I was a child, I always liked singing. I started singing in a church. And in Brazil, I used to sing in weddings, some special occasions. And here, when I moved to Winnipeg, I met Marcos. He is from the same city that I am, in Rio de Janeiro. But we came to meet here in Winnipeg. We grew up in the same city, but we met here in Winnipeg. But Rio de Janeiro is a very big city. Then, we decided to start a duo, and we sing samba and bossa nova. Marcos just finished his master degree here in guitar, I think 3 years ago. And yeah, and then we start to practice, and then we start to show our music, and it's very good because it's different when you play Brazilian music in Brazil and when we play Brazilian music outside of Brazil, because here we don't have many musicians playing this kind of music. We have two of them. We have a Marco that I know, Marcos Castillo, yeah, and we have the Guilana too. Guilana, she's Canadian, but she plays Brazilian music too. And it's very good. You feel like you're home when you're listen to this kind of music. So we started to play about 3 years ago, and we have been playing many projects and festivals, and we are very happy for that.
That aspect of having cultural music that you kind of connect to and it brings you home. I can't say as myself as a Canadian here in Manitoba, that there's any music that literally that feels like that cultural aspect to me. So that's definitely something special.
Playing to the Brazilian community is very good. It's very good to meet with our people. But when we are practicing at home, it's very good too. It's a very good feeling. Music is something that connects me, I don't know, with God maybe. And it makes me feel very well.
It can definitely be a spiritual experience as you're playing on stage in front of an audience. You know, you got your endorphins and serotonin going off. Yeah, you're right. What is that transition to go from, because my background is I played in jazz band and band back in high school, but never wanted to or felt comfortable pursuing that as like a career option. What is the moment where you're like, oh yes, I can do this for a living, or oh, I want to do this to make some money, or this is a work avenue I want to take? What was that moment for you?
Yeah, for me, it was natural too, because I used to sing in a church, like I told you, and people liked my sing, and they invite me to sing in their weddings, graduations. So I didn't offer. They asked me, like they said, oh, can you sing in my wedding? I will pay you for that. Then I started to sing in special occasions. Yeah, I think I was 15 years old. I was very young. Yeah, 15 years old when it started to happen. So I got some invitations to play in special occasions. So I didn't offer my work.
Yeah, that would make things slightly easier when people are asking you to come perform instead of being like, hi, can I perform at this place?
yeah, true. But then when we moved to Canada, then it was different. When I met Marcos, then we had a project. So we start to practice and building the website and everything. But we were musicians already, yeah.
How have you gotten into the market? What would you say is kind of or what advice would you give people that are trying to start up becoming a musician? Maybe someone definitely who's focusing on more cultural music and not just pop or like country or different aspects of that. What sort of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think it is a very simple advice. Is like do your best. Opportunities will come. Like I believe if you are constant, like you can't stop. If you stop, so maybe the opportunity will not come. But if you are constant and you do your best, do your work with quality, I believe people will find you. That's what happened with us. So we were small. We couldn't afford to advertise big advertisements on Instagram or everything, but we had an Instagram page and a website, and some people saw us. There was one guy from Which Police Radio podcast, and then he invited us, for an interview, and other people saw us, and after we were invited through for the jazz festival and other events. So we always try to do our best and show our work. We have to show our work. Always show your work. Yeah, you can't do your best and do not post on Facebook or Instagram. People have to see you.
So very grassroots, being on the ground, connecting with people, word of mouth sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. True, yeah.
That's so cool. Well, your music is awesome, and I hope it continues to grow and develop, and more people get to hear it.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel very happy when I hear this. Yeah.
Passionate about a lot of things. Came here to Canada. What would you say is your favorite part of Canada? I know you've touched on it a little bit.
What I can say, I think it's a beautiful country. I think you have like beautiful parks too. I love go to parks. I love camping, and I think it is, and the people too. People are very nice. I like the people. It's very important too. I have friends who moved to another countries, and they say, oh, the local people, they are not very kind. I'm not saying friendly, but not very kind. But here, I feel like very blessed to be around the Canadian community here. They are always trying to help the university. So it's hard to choose the best part. It's a safe country. The diversity here, we can share our thoughts. So it's very good to live.
In terms of Canada, or just here in North America, yeah, it was built on immigrants, and that's like kind of a theme that's continued here into 2021, heading into 2022. That, yeah, it was built on immigrants, and I think I heard some statistics about in a couple of years it's going to be something like 50%, or the kids that are going to be in Canada soon is going to be 50% immigrants and 50% Caucasian. So like, wow. It's really starting to like diversify even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And they respect the immigrants. That's very good. And the Ethno Fest is a wonderful opportunity to all countries feel represented, like by a person, or their music, or food, or literature.
Yeah, I think Ethno Fest and just working at Multicultural for myself has been a great learning experience, talking with amazing people like yourself. I haven't. Yeah. I grew up in Winkler, and I mean, yeah, there's a lot of immigrants coming in, but it's still not a very diverse community yet. And so this has been really great for myself, learning about all different peoples and cultures and experiences, and it's helped open my mind.
True, yeah. The Multicultural channel is one of the best things that happened to immigrants, I think. Because we can like express ourselves, and you get to know other cultures too. There was lots of interviews on YouTube, and there's social media too, where we can learn about our other cultures. When I was in Brazil, I had no idea about other. Of course, we know there are other countries, but I didn't know like about the food and language and values. Well, it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's an aspect that we have in Canada that is very unique in the world. I mean, of course, there's immigrants that go to every country, but Canada's a little bit different, at least in my thoughts, and what I see is just that very melting pot of multiculturalism. And I'm always about experiencing other cultures and growing an appreciation for people. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, regardless of where people come from, we're all people. We all have passions and loves and, family.
I really feel home here, not only because of the Brazilian community, but the way Canada treats the immigrants, and how I am very proud about what this country is turning to.
Of course, there's challenges in any society. There's challenges.
Yeah.
We can come together. We can work together in unity. Like, if we all have an appreciation for each other, it's much easier to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter what our cultural differences or like spiritual backgrounds, we can come together and make something awesome.
Yeah, for sure. There is no perfect place, right? There is a guy who used to say, if you find the perfect place, don't get in. You're going to mess it up.
Awesome. unfortunately with COVID, travel has been closed off, but do you still visit Brazil?
Oh yeah, now, like you said, because of the COVID, I didn't go last year, but I used to go every year. So probably next year, I think we're going to be good to go to visit Brazil. Yeah, yeah.
For someone who's wanting to go travel to Brazil, where would you tell people to go visit?
There's many beautiful places in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro, I think everyone knows. I am from Rio de Janeiro, and it's easy to find information. But there is one place in Minas Gerais named Ouro Preto, which means black gold. Ouro Preto, and it's a historical city. And do you know Brazil was colonized by Portugal? And in Ouro Preto is it's like old city. Is like a Portugal because it remains the same. There is a law that builds can be changed. So when you go to Ouro Preto, it's like you're going to Portugal, and there's lots of churches, and the food is amazing too, and museums. So it's like a historical trip. And I think it's a good suggestion that people don't know. It's famous, but maybe people outside of Brazil don't know this place. So look at Ouro Preto, black gold, if you forget.
That's something I really want to start doing, travel. I haven't really traveled anywhere. I've been down into the States, but only twice. And I mostly just kind of stay in Manitoba because there's a lot of cool stuff here. It's a lot of things I've never experienced. Went to Clear Lake with my friends, which was super cool. Never been up there. I think just heading towards like that Brandon area, the western part of Manitoba, I was like, whoa, my brain is feeling weird. I've never gone this way before. But I definitely want to go out and experience.
Yeah. In Ouro Preto, there are a lot of storytellers too on the street. So when you're walking, if you stop, there is somebody who will tell you the story of that building or that church. So if you like history, I think it's a good trip.
If you could go visit anywhere, where would you go? For myself, gave an idea to my girlfriend. It's like, we should go to like our historical countries of origins. Like, let's go visit Philippines and visit Germany just to see what the culture is like in there, because I'm not connected to anything of like my German/Ukrainian heritage. Like, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I think if I could go on a trip now, I would go to Europe, like Portugal, France. I would like to, because they are very small countries, and then you can go to one country to another country and the same day. You go in the morning to Portugal and in the afternoon to another country. So I would love to meet Europe. I never been there before, and I think Portugal, because we are colonized for Portugal, like I said, by Portugal, and so there's lots of stuff that I would like to see there. And the other country, like in France, we have the museum that I would like to visit. So Portugal, Europe would be my choice. Yeah.
Awesome. There's a lot of cool things there. I've had a couple of friends who've visited different countries in Europe, and they've always said it's been an awesome experience. Just kind of to wrap things up, you're passionate about a lot of things. You've found a career that you're passionate in both music and teaching. What advice would you give people who are new Canadians and are looking to start a career, maybe something that they're passionate in?
I think you have just to be patient, create your plan, and then be patient. When I came to Canada, like I said, I had a plan. I had a degree, but I couldn't use my degree here. So I started working in a child care center, and then I got my documentation. I sent it to the government in an institution. And now I am about to get my license to teach here. So it's 7 years now. So you have to be patient. Like you're new, people don't know you. Sometimes you're very talented, but people don't know yet. So show your talents, be kind, like work hard, and then you get that. If you are in Canada and you want to work, then you are in the right place. I think you are going to make it.
So where can people find out more information about you and your duo?
My duo is Sarau Carioca. So we have a website, which is saraucarioca.blogspot.com. And we have Instagram and Facebook too. It's just Sarau Carioca. And so it's easy to find us.
If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment on our social media or reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.